Shut up and sit down.
Oh man, I can't believe it. A legend is coming back.
I know, man. Is this not like the best time to be a wrestling fan? Like with everything that's going on, like not counting the weird TNA crap, but everything else is going on.
Well, I can tell you this much. I know the fans are going to really appreciate this work. It's a great sacrifice. I know people have been dying for it. I know Pappy Snook has been asking to do this for a while now, so I know this is going to be great. I'm just so excited. Are you excited?
I'm very excited, man. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. Something that I never thought would happen. Something that conventional wisdom said that we were going up against. I just can't believe it. I mean,
I'm just so glad you approve of this because this is going to be a big deal. It's going to make huge changes. I know I'm ready. I mean, I know you're ready. It's just so good. It's just so good to feel that, and it's just I cannot wait. You know it. We should just shout together. We cannot wait for
Goldberg.
Snuka.
Wait, what?
That's right, the legend. Kaine Snuka's coming back. Me and Jay Elwood got a tag team contract. We're gonna get the titles.
You do know he got the contract and not you. You're contracted here. You remember how for the last few podcasts you've been trying to ditch me since the draft? You can't ditch me. You're contracted to the podcast.
But Jay just called me. Grandpa Snuka wanted me to go.
James is very well misinformed. You are contracted here to the podcast, and nobody has contacted the heel that runs this deal about releasing you. So that ain't gonna happen.
Man, I just made all these business cards for it too. Oh, well, who cares? I guess we'll get back into it. Welcome back, folks, to Off the Ropes, and I'm your man, Kaine. What? Snuka, and I got my man from Rollins, the Faded Saint, over there. We're going into everything that we could possibly go over in the last month or so. We've had quite an impact on two major pay-per-views, No Mercy and Hell in a Cell, or, as a friend of mine jokingly said, Rage in a Cage, because that seems like what's going on these days with these events, folks. But I can promise you this, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. I know that I was all caught up with the fact that maybe I could have just brought it back to life with me and Jay Ellsworth, but you know what? I digress because I heard my man say Goldberg, and I know that's a big deal. So we're going to probably get around that topic, but we're going to need to talk about these two pay-per-views first because we know that right around the corner, that very dirty corner, comes Survivor Series, and that is going to blow up if we keep keeping this card as sexy as it's coming. But my man, Faded Saint, how you doing, baby?
Okay, I'm surviving. And, well, that's the key word here, because we have yet another head-to-head matchup. No Mercy, and then we had Hell in a Cell. Now, for recap, for those of you who are playing the home game, first of all, if you remember the first head-to-heads, we pronounced that SmackDown Live won, simply based on the fact that it put on the better pay-per-view. Because the Raw pay-per-view at the time, what was the Raw pay-per-view? No, Clash of Champions.
Yes, we're talking about
rather clunky the entire time.
A little bit dry.
But, I mean, we've got a new fresh set of pay-per-views, and we're about to get onto them right here, and that all starts with No Mercy. And right off the top, we had our pre-cook, which was the Hype Brothers and American Alpha versus the LOD Fail, or the Ascension, as they like to be called, and the Vaudevillains.
The detention. Can we say it just happened?
It happened. American Alpha, I believe, got the win with their little double move of doom. That's what happened, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I mean, it's a shame, but...
Yeah.
Why is American Alpha in this match? Why is American Alpha in this match? I don't understand it. They are so much better than this. They are better than every single tag team there. They're better than one of the tag teams that was in the tag match.
you and I both know, since I'm a big NXT fan, I've been watching it since almost day one. Faded Sane.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you right now, they are 100% strong and affluent wrestlers. The bigger question is not why are they wrestling in the pay-per-view pre-cook. Why are they not fighting for the defense towards the tag team titles?
Why were they not the tag team champions?
Why are the Usos even in the question? I don't know. I'm hurt. I think we need to get past this pre-cook because
we do because
we need to talk about it first. We need to talk about it first.
Exactly, and this was weird. Now, No Mercy also, for those of you who don't, took place on the same night as the second presidential debate. And so I guess somebody decided that they needed to make sure that the main event got seen, so they decided that the main event was the opener of the card. So, straight out of the gate, we got John Superman Cena, old Big Mac John, the internet's favorite Lego man AJ Styles, and Dean Ambrose for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. God damn.
I have to say, it's a first for openers. Of course, there's some theory, which is what you already provided us about why they did it. But to be honest, what a way to start the show.
Oh, yeah.
This actually was a very good triple threat match. And I'm going to give a clap right now. AJ Styles was supreme in this because not only was he doing this triple threat on his own pretty much, but he was the one that was mostly centralized in the battles between John Cena and then between Dean Ambrose, then between John Cena and then between Ambrose. You very rarely saw Dean and John hit it off each other. It seems like they were just trading partners with AJ Styles, so he focused the whole match, and this man wasn't letting up. He wasn't tired. He showed great strength. He even did the phenomenal forearm, I think, once or twice or more in the same match, so he was hitting this game hard. So kudos to AJ Styles for keeping that in-ring strength the entire match.
Yep. Except that ending was cheap, y'all.
They had to, man.
I mean, I get it because I'm the same guy that was defending Kevin Owens at the last pay-per-view in his chicken shit win over Seth Rollins. Fair enough. I get that. But this wasn't a chicken shit win. This was just straight up stupidity. So the end of the match sequence came about and started with both John Cena and Dean Ambrose both had AJ Styles in a submission hold, and AJ started tapping. So AJ starts to tap, and then once AJ starts to tap, they ring the bell. And then just nobody knows what's happening, and so AJ slides out of the ring. Dean and Cena fight some more, and then AJ comes in and steals the fall, and that was the end of it. And what the hell? Like, it was one of those it didn't make sense kind of deals. It was kind of like the whole BS from. I know the last one I remember was the Brock, the really weird Brock and Undertaker one from.
Well, when he was tapping while he was dying.
When the bell rang and distracted the referee and stuff, and I know there was another one in recent memory.
Well, I mean the double pin victory could have been it too.
Right, but I mean that was just like, who dreams up these stupid ass shit? Like, if you're gonna have AJ be a chicken shit, have AJ be a chicken shit. Do it. Don't give us this confusing, convoluted ending. Which, for the most part, the match was awesome right up until that point. And when they got when it hit that point, I couldn't anymore. It was just like, really? Really?
I personally think that John Cena's character was kind of challenged here because, Dean was doing his thing, and all of a sudden John Cena jumps out of nowhere and goes, you know what, I'm going to get a submission in on this. And so that way we could confuse the audience on who wins the tap out.
It was...
But either way, the performance was still pretty solid for a beginning shot. And I can see why they decided to cheapen the shot by making the heel win very, very, pretty much on the skin of his teeth. It was a classic heel move. It's a great move that The Miz would do. I'm not quite sure if the main event should need that. But, I have to say, it was still a pretty solid match.
Yep. Pretty solid match. like I said, it has had problems with the ending. But AJ Styles retains the World Heavyweight Championship.
And of course, we go with our next match, which is not that bad, but it was definitely needed to tone it down a bit, and that was that match between Nikki and Carmella. Oh, God, not now. Your liver! Your liver, Chris! Ooh, that looks good, though. What is that?
Oh, this is actually Strongbow hard apple cider flavored with cherry blossom.
Yeah, you might want to keep one of those in the fridge for me.
I got one right over there.
If I can make it out of parts unknown.
I can't. Here's why I can't. There's so much good women's wrestling, and then there's this bullshit. And this carries over into even after to where we are currently in the storyline. Have you noticed, by the way, for Survivor Series, the way they do the graphic? Do you want to guess who's in front of all of the women on both sides of the team? Who is the very centerpiece of the 5-on-5 women's Raw versus SmackDown Tag Team Championship in the graphic? I'll take a guess. You want to venture a guess?
John Cena's girlfriend?
John Cena's girlfriend! I mean, don't get me wrong. She's bounds better than she was a couple of years ago, but...
God, for some reason, she's so hot right now.
But, I mean... This is kind of the thing, and I've been yelling this a lot at the TV. The champion is always the center. On the Raw team, Charlotte is the center.
Oh, yeah.
Well, spoiler alert for later. Sorry, guys. But you come here for analysis. You don't come here for results. And if you come here for results, it's his fault. He forgot to tell me. Anyway, but this match is okay. I think the weak part of this match was actually Carmella.
Well, there's not much to talk about this match. It was pretty quick, very straightforward, didn't give much leeway. And unfortunately, based on future events of this entire pay-per-view, if they knew in advance or something of that case or some kind of situation, which they probably knew in advance, they should have made this match a lot stronger knowing what was going to happen later.
Yeah. And that's the other thing I take. And I think because of what happened later, which is why they're centering more on Nikki rather than their champion, which would be Becky. But, I mean, it was Nikki won?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was.
Sure.
Let's do that. Nikki
over Carmella. Yeah, honestly, this was just a go get some refreshments kind of match, which brought us into the much, much better match that was Heath Slater and Rhino versus the thugged out Usos.
This was the heart of the pay-per-view, by the way. I feel like this was like the heart and soul, straight out of love. Rhino needs to keep eating more pork rinds. You know, that kind of thing, because this gimmick is funny as to watch.
Oh, I love these two. They're comedy gold together. Rhino with anyone is comedy gold.
The only thing is, though, I have to say these two are probably the equivalent to the Golden Truth. So why is the Golden Truth the tag team champions right now?
They're so much better than the Golden Truth.
No.
Yes.
Take that back.
They're so.
Take that back.
I love Goldie. I love Goldie a whole lot. But here's the thing. Like, Crazy Truth has gone on a bit long. It's a bit long in the tooth. It's kind of like the New Day. The New Day is starting to wear on me a little bit. But, I mean, these two really work well together. And the Usos are there. They're around. They fill a requisite heel spot. They are people who exist, sometimes in the ring. I'm trying to say positive things about them.
All I can say right now is the Golden Truth is a national treasure. You appreciate that treasure. But we're going back to this.
I will say this was a good match, though. I make fun of the Usos, but the Usos can actually put on a damn fine match.
But I'm not sure if I'm okay with the Blood Crips version of the Usos. I really don't.
I don't know what they're trying to do. Is that what they're trying to do? Are they gangbangers now?
it's some tough league. I don't know if they could say gangbangers on here now when it comes to wrestling in the sense of the era goes, but they are definitely thuggish.
That's unfortunate for them.
I know the gimmicks. I guess the gimmicks adapted. I mean, now they got that vampire teeth going on.
So you see, I'm not the only one because you and
No, you're not going crazy.
you and my best friend Veston, both. You remember a couple of SmackDowns back, both of you at within minutes of each other were texting me. Actually, I think it was not. I think it was the previous pay-per-view, the Backlash. Yeah, back in Backlash, both of you texted me at the same time, around the same time, saying, "I don't see those fangs. They exist. They're there. They're stupid, and they're stupid underbit fangs.
The grills but they're fangish.
Yeah, and they're dumb looking, and they apparently are going to keep going with the dumb looking fangs. So, but I mean, the story of this match was pretty much just, Rhino getting beaten down, and then Heath getting beaten down, and then Rhino getting beaten down, and then they overcome.
Gore! Bong.
Gore!
Now, see, this match was a great match, but here's the thing that still irks me. Mm-hmm. This was for the WWE SmackDown World Tag Team titles.
Yes, it was.
That
actually
encumberment shouldn't be in the same license as those two tag teams fighting for the championship. There should be a strong championship defender and a strong competitor, and both of them were not involved in this case. Imagine American Alpha and they versus the Vaudevillains. That sounds like a tag team title match, especially if the American Alpha is the tag team champions defending. I
agree. I mean, I like this duo, and I like the fact that they're running with it. So because I mean, these are much like on Raw. They're kind of stuck with who they're with for a little bit of time because you can't just quick switch it off. I mean, we're getting to the point where we can.
Here's the deal: the Universal title, the SmackDown Women's, and the SmackDown Tag Teams all have one thing in common. They are unaccustomed traditioned belts. Mm-hmm. So they don't have the history prowess that most of the backstage politics go through on awarding that belt, which is why KO and Finn Balor got the Universal title for the first times. Mm-hmm. That's why Becky Lynch is the women's title instead of Nikki. That's why frickin' Slater and Rhino are your tag team title champions versus someone who's considered more prestigious and validated for that belt. The only thing I'm more concerned with is they better not New Day the shit out of Slater and Rhino. That's all I'm asking. Do not make them have this belt for more than 6 months.
I agree. I mean, we've gotten through, 2 months now?
Yeah.
I would say we know they're getting through Survivor Series with the
belt. Yeah, the titles are not for grabs for Survivor Series. We knew that going through the gate. So we'll just let that go. I mean, there's good possibility we'll still see a women's SmackDown because I don't think Becky Lynch or what's her name is on the list.
Yep. Becky most certainly is.
Oh, she's on the team.
Yes.
All right, then no belts are happening.
But it's easy to not notice her because she's standing right. Nikki Bella's kind of doing this thing in the front in the graphic, and Becky's right here. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, anyway, Rhino and Heath Slater over the Usos because reasons, which brings us to. I guess technically we have to talk about this match.
I know you don't want to, and they pretty much have been non-existent since this, but we have to talk about them.
Jack Swagger versus Randy Orton Jr.
Corbin.
Fucking boring Corbin. And by the way, I am ecstatic because I was on the WrestleZone forums where I get a lot of my news, and some people were talking about him, and they almost in the comments universally refer to him as boring Corbin. It's not just me.
And there's also further great news that we found out last week on SmackDown.
Yes, he's injured. Oh my God! I feel sorry for poor Randy Orton Jr. I really do, because despite the fact that I don't like him, You and I could have very easily have booked him so much better. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I mean, we would have booked, I don't know how you would have booked him, but I would have booked Baron Corbin out the gate, his first thing on Raw, just with the way they're doing Braun Strowman and Nia Jax over there right now.
I would
And
have
Bo
done Baron
Dallas.
Corbin. I would have definitely done Baron Corbin like his first gen NXT run. 30-second matches, one, two,
Exactly.
three, get him out.
Exactly. You don't need him to do anything else. You just need him to go into the ring, have the fans count along, wasteland, end of days, leave.
Yeah.
Pick up your paycheck. You're not paid by the hour, sir. That was one of Corey's best lines. He's not working by the hour.
Yeah. That's
So
it.
the
I love
story of
it.
the story of this match is Baron Corbin won for reasons.
Yeah.
Which now that we have talked about that match and we don't really need to say anymore. Now let's talk about the match that should have been the headliner, the main event of the night.
Mm-hmm.
The match that was hands down the best match of
The spine
night.
of the pay-per-view.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. And that was The Miz with Mrs. The Miz and the Spirit Squad and the hopes and dreams of all of Cleveland, because Lord knows that the Indians blew a 3-1 lead. Cleveland sucks. Versus Mr. Becky Lynch, Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship.
Pickin'.
I thought, goddamn, I really thought that he was gonna lose this match and they were gonna use him to build credibility for Miz versus Daniel Bryan.
Oh god, they did it so bad too.
They're still building for it. Did you see SmackDown 2 weeks ago?
I've seen all the SmackDowns, sir. I do not watch this. Okay?
I have not
Hulu.
seen this week's SmackDown because I was busy and I had stuff to do. But I will be watching it in
Thank
the
God for
coming.
Hulu. That's all I can say. Thank God for Hulu. But I have to say though, this match did put me on my toes. Because there were several times where I thought the Miz was going to actually get his goods on this, and it just kept working it, and they kept working it, and it was a very dramatic pinfall for this to happen to him, and it was so impactful that it didn't matter that he had the Intercontinental Championship belt at that time. Because to be honest with you, he doesn't deserve any belts right now. He needs reconstruction. But I get why they did it, and it makes him sound like he's fighting for something real now, and that's what's important about this story.
We've said very many times in the past in these Intercontinental title matches that Miz was the weak link. Now this time, god damn, Miz's song says "I came to play," and that is exactly what he did. He came to play. He was not going to be outdone. And he and Dolph tore down the house. Oh my God. Why was this not the last match? Because this was it. And when Dolph won, the arena was so behind it. You know, and they were just like, yes, yes. And just everything that's happened since then, since the match, with The Miz coming out and mourning the death of the Intercontinental Championship, with Daniel Bryan, telling The Miz that he wasn't on the SmackDown team because Dolph Ziggler had offered to fight him for the Intercontinental Championship, and Miz turned him down. And then The Miz talking about how Daniel Bryan can't be a wrestler and he's broken down, and then Daniel Bryan losing his shit at Miz. And then that leads us to a SummerSlam match, which was, of course, we're going to get Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship because Dolph Ziggler is a fighting champion and he'll even fight the dudes on Raw. So, yep. But, I mean, do you have anything else to say about that?
Honestly, no. I am probably just as dumbfounded as much as how in the election, 15,000 people decided to go vote for Harambe the Dead Gorilla from Cincinnati Zoo. So, they got up, got dressed, waited in line for hours just to put Harambe on the ticket. So this is just as equivalent to the writing room going, you know what? Let's not make this the last match. Let's make this nothing. And we're gonna put on Bray versus Randy Orton, and turn out they can't even fucking wrestle anyway. So who cares? Who cares? Mania, mania, mania.
Well, before we get to that, and just in case we didn't make it clear, Dolph Ziggler, yes, Dolph Ziggler won a match. Dolph Ziggler, over The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. But before we get to the main event, we actually had to get through one more match. And it was originally it was supposed to be Dame Dolph Ziggler.
Before you say anything further, Faded Saint, let's also put a disclaimer. Folks, at this point, this is where the pay-per-view decided to go south. Because the two strongest matches that they're supposed to put at the end, they might as well just threw whipped cream all over and said, you know what, this is not the dessert. Go away. Next move. Continue.
Dame Dolph Ziggler versus Alexa Bliss was supposed to be the match that we got. Now, Becky apparently had to go in for a medical procedure and was not cleared. We have not been told what that medical procedure is. I do not wish to speculate because it's none of my business.
True.
So they pretty much told us at the beginning of the pay-per-view that Becky was not going to be around, and so Alexa was going to compete. And by process of elimination, you knew what it was. So what turned out to end up being Alexa Bliss versus radioactive Naomi.
I love it. It's actually a really cool gimmick.
I did not fucking get this match. I didn't understand. Naomi did not need to win. Alexa needed to look strong. I don't get why they jobbed Alexa out to Naomi. They should have put...
Because this is one of those, the hero needs to win, boss.
No.
Vince McMahon writing room shit.
It wasn't. It was wrong. And I could have done without it. I could have done without it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all I can say about it.
True, though. Very, very true.
Which finally brings us to Bray Wyatt versus Baron Corbin Sr. / Randy Orton.
Senior.
For nothing. At all. Nothing.
Nope. And
it was an all right match. It wasn't a bad match. It was an all right match. It just wasn't last match to go on all right.
It was better than Kaine replacing Randy Orton.
Yeah, because we actually got what we asked for this time.
Yeah.
The ending with Luke Harper, don't get me wrong, I love me some Luke Harper. I love Luke Harper so much that I was Luke Harper for Halloween.
Oh, yeah. It was very good, by the way.
Thank you. And my best friend and his wife played the parts of Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan. So it also helps that I'm a short person, and so it's my best friend, and his wife is much taller than the both of us. So it actually looked correct size-wise.
Follow the buzzards.
And it was a good match, but I mean, it ended with Luke Harper coming back and Bray getting the win. And hooray, Luke Harper's back! I really mean that. Hooray, Luke Harper's back.
Can we be happy that there actually is a W on Bray Wyatt's ticket for the pay-per-views in this one? And it was a strong, right? It was a Wyatt level strength type of win.
He won a match, but I don't necessarily think it should have been the main event, and I think that kind of hurts it. Mm-hmm. And, well, that brings us to the end of the pay-per-view. And, well, what do you think? Where do you think we give this as a grade?
Well, I give them an A for effort on the fact that they tried to do it first with the pay per view for having the championships and as the front runner. But I really can't give this. I'm giving this one a C plus. Too many mistakes happened, some bad matches happened, and your main attraction, who just won the women's title, is injured for not to have a match, so we had to replace it with another unnecessary women's match. During a whole big revolution that we're trying to get right now from a lot of great, strong, raw women's matches that are going on.
Not necessarily an unnecessary women's match, but the ending was wrong.
I still say ruined it. I'm still on this.
The first half of the pay-per-view, I would give an A+. The second half of the pay-per-view, I would give a C. So I'll split the difference, and I will say a B-.
Fair enough.
B-. I think...
I'll upgrade to a C+ then. So we're on the grade off. That's it.
C+, fair enough. And that will bring us into the break. And on the other side of the break, we have got Hell in a Cell. We have got
Rage of the Cage.
And we have got, maybe a couple thoughts about Survivor Series coming up. I mean, that's the thing that's going to be coming up. And other than that, we will see you after the break.
Be back soon, folks.
Yes. Kaine Snuka and myself, the Faded Saint, we would like to thank bensound.com for our opening theme, Actionable, and Meat Chat for our closing theme, Picnic at the Reactor. And today, we have a nice little treat. We have Kevin Owens versus Vince McMahon. Enjoy. I'm your boy, Common the Faded Saint. That is my boy, Kaine Super What Snuka. And today's show is brought to you by the letter J. Ironically enough, it's L'Oreal's favorite letter. If you haven't heard, you've heard it on this podcast many times that she loves the J.
Lorelai, guess who's on the list?
It's you. You're on the list.
You just made the list.
He just made the list. She cannot wait until he goes on tour with Bozzy and we don't have to, he's not wrestling every week. But speaking of lists, actually I just want to do a quick shout out also to L'Oreal's husband, William. Really cool guy. He does sculptures, really awesome sculptures. I've thrown a couple of them up if you're my Facebook follower. Check him out, Evil Creations. I know he does commissions and stuff. I know he's looking to move some sculptures, and he's a good patron of the show, so I just wanted to throw him a quick bone there. And with that, I mean, we are halfway through our second annual, not annual, but our second versus. We just got finished with No Mercy, and we have Hell in a Cell coming up.
In a cage.
It might as well. I mean, they had 3 Hell in a Cell matches, and this is kind of a
They
storyline
were-
that's going on. Like,
The women's was violent.
have you noticed that Daniel Bryan also has been very openly critical? And did you also notice that Raw now has its own talk show, like Talking Smack?
Yeah, Ross, man.
Daniel Bryan has been very open, and he's made fun of the fact that they had 3 Hell in a Cell matches. He actually made point to say that next year there will be 7, which I can believe. I mean, it's getting.
So does
it's
that
getting
mean
there.
does that mean they get Hell in a Cell next year?
I don't know how that works. I don't know if they trade off or whatever.
I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out then.
But we got to start off with the pre-cook. And the pre-cook was Cedric Alexander versus, or I'm sorry, not versus, but Cedric Alexander, Sin Cara, and Lince Dorado, which, by the way, both of those are Spanish for not Rey Mysterio, versus Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Davari's little brother, Vinny Davari.
Yeah. I have to say, though, as far as pre-cooks go, this was a fantastic one. It was just fun to watch. It's always good to see the Cruiserweight division hit it up nice and strong. It's kind of like watching the circus act, bringing in the clowns for a little bit, but they did a great job. The acrobatics and everything was great.
I thought it was great. It was a nice. I mean, there's not really too much to it. I mean, the not Rey Mysterio brothers and Cedric Alexander won over the Forces of Evil. And
yeah,
it was a throwaway. And, I mean, basically it was, all right, what cruiserweights do we have that are not our main 2? All right, let's just throw them all in a match together.
Let's do it.
And that's what they did. And it was a thing. So, and, well, you know, that brought us to the pay-per-view proper. And our very first Hell in a Cell match. It was the United States Champion, Roman Reigns, versus...
Dun.
Why do we even care about Rusev anymore? Oh, you know what? Lana. That's why we care about Rusev.
Oh, sweet, sweet Lana. Her attire these last few pay-per-views, last few weeks, has just been so luscious.
There's a running joke between me and my best friend. Whenever we're watching Raw and Lana comes on screen, we'll text the other one, "Oh, hi, Lana."
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Lana.
Oh,
but,
God.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, why do we care about Rusev? Rusev is like...
Mr. Ruru.
Rusev is what you would get is if you took Enzo and Cass and you taped them together. Because he loses all of the big matches now. He is Russian, less interesting Bray Wyatt. I mean, he's not even interesting anymore. He just loses, and he loses, and he loses, and he loses. Just loses. And to some of the surprise of no one, Roman won this match. Because of course he was, because we have to make Roman look strong, because Roman is more likely than not going to be the next man up against Kevin Owens. And it was a match, it was alright. I mean, it wasn't bad, but predictable. I mean, as predictable as a Hell in a Cell can be. So, you got anything to add to that? I mean, there's not really much to add to it, you know?
I really don't. It really isn't.
I mean, so Roman over Rusev to the
I
surprise
mean,
of no one.
it's just if I had a comment, I have to say it was so predictable. That's what killed me. It was just everything he was doing. I mean, to the point where I knew he was going to win with a spear. Like, come on. Like, can we just let him lay low for like a year and bring him back like they did with, John Cena only needed 6 months to get the turnaround for everyone to like him again.
Like,
I think Roman Reigns needs a year. That's it.
We need to get Rusev to lay low and let him come back and be a monster heel.
Yeah, true.
Let's forget about him or something for a little bit because this isn't working. It doesn't hurt that he just lost to Sami Zayn for the spot to go to Survivor Series. I mean, anyway, But that brings us into the next match, which the next match was my girl. Hey,
My
hey,
girl, my girl,
Bailey.
my girl.
Ha! I wanna know, would you be my girl? Versus Dana Brooks.
My girl.
Bailey won. Um,
My girl.
Bailey won. I mean,
I mean, come on, it's Dana fucking Brooke. You know, you gotta be kidding me.
I feel bad for Dana.
No,
Like, she
I
really does
don't.
try, but
You know, she's a real sweetheart in real life, like a super sweetheart.
oh,
Super.
she is Dolph Ziggler's girlfriend as well.
Get out of here. They're really together?
Oh, hell yeah.
Sweet. She's got
I
a fine
mean,
ass.
and I really just wish that they would just. They need to ship her off to SmackDown so that she can learn from the other girls over there, because SmackDown definitely seems like it's got the women's division with training wheels on it. And they need to let Becky come over here and play with the real division. I mean, this was our main complaint about splitting up the women's division. The women's division as a whole is not strong enough to be split. It needs to be one division. I feel the same way about the tag team division. It needs to be one division. But it's not. So it was really, Bailey over Dana. It was an alright match. It wasn't a bad match. It was an alright match. It was the Suicide Squad of matches. It was fine. It was fine. It was fine. Suicide Squad was fine. It was a fine movie. It was not bad. It was good. It was fine. I'm getting some mileage out of that joke, aren't I?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
At any
Oh,
rate,
God, sweet Jesus.
You have anything else to add to that match?
I honestly, when it comes to everything going on with this match altogether, I think that I honestly I don't even know what to think, because when it comes to the club, they need to wreck, and they're not wrecking.
Well,
And I mean, I kind of like what they're doing right now with Survivor Series and how they're making them outlaws, but they really need to make them like shit. The club's coming.
well, that was a part of what this was all about. With this little program with Endzone Cass, which the next match was Endzone Cass versus the club. And
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
we
I
need.
just don't want to talk about Bailey and Dana anymore. That's pretty
That's
much it.
fine. No. I've already progressed the slide. We're already on the next one. But I like the whole being mean and making green. I really loved the little thing that they did. The promo that they did leading up to the match was actually pretty awesome. The really big one where Enzo and Cass come down to the ring on Raw, and they go and they start talking. Their mic cuts out, and and to also point a phrase, the way that the club talked when they were coming down and they were dressing down Enzo and Cass is how they talk in real life. I've heard them on interviews, and they're like that, where they're talking about, yeah, we had them cut, and we met a really good brother in the back in the production structure who was willing to make some green to cut off your mics. They really good brothers, really bad brothers. And then Enzo and Cass, and it's because Enzo's got that horrible Mike tattoo on his hand. But I mean, it was still cool that he did made the crowd do sing along and his voice for him. Which brings us to the match proper. It was about what you would expect a match. Who do you call when you need a tag team to be rehabilitated, when they need a really big win and you're not going to lose any heat? You call the realest jobbers in the room, the biggest liars in the room, Enzo and Cass,
Oh yeah.
because Enzo and Cass are what's the opposite of batting 1,000? Batting nothing. They're batting 0 because they still their only pay-per-view win, their only big match win, they didn't win. Big Match John won. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Enzo and Cass have yet to win a match. It's weird. It's they're like their reverse spray Wyatts in that respect. Like it feels like they're feeding up to a point where Castle's going to get tired of Enzo, and he's just going to heel turn on him, which I'm cool with. I'm fine. But I mean, if they're going to stretch this act out a little more, they're going to have to start giving these guys some wins. I mean, even in NXT, they weren't big win guys. They'd get the little wins, but they wouldn't win the matches. But the club goes over here, and the club needed to go over here because they've kind of gone flat on the club. They've been kind of dead in the water, and they needed to win. And they need to do something spectacular at SummerSlam, Survivor Series. And I feel like if they kind of, just run roughshod all over the other team or even their own team, that will go a long way to making them bigger deals. But I mean, it was very by the numbers for an Endzone cast match, and they made the club look strong. Anything to add to that?
To be honest, I love the club, and like I said, they just need to make them sound like they need a wreck. Because Endzone Cast doesn't count anymore. Endzone Cast will lose to a bag of paper and a bag of cat feces if it's the pay-per-view. Because that's how he is. The pay-per-view, they never win. They're all hype, and they never win. And they're literally there for mic attendance, and
Yep.
that's it. And I think even with that's the main thing that's also funny is it's one of the very few things that NXT did too, because usually when you win the title, you pretty much are going straight up to the top after you lose the title. Enzo Cast never won the title ever, and they got moved over.
Well, because just the sheer power of their charisma, and I'll even admit they're charismatic dudes, but
yeah, 100% they are. They're really, really good.
It's not going to last forever.
Well, Road Dogg and Badass Billy Gunn, they loved them every time they saw them, even 10 years later. So I'm not entirely sure that the mic's going to be missing on that one.
Well, but I mean, the club over Endzone Cast, which brings us to Hell in a Cell match number 2, and that is the Architect, Seth freaking Rollins, versus my man, your man, the meanest Canadian in the room, Kevin Owens, your and my WWE Universal Champion. Inside of Hell in a Cell.
This was good.
This
was a solid win.
This is a good example of the chicken shit champion. There was no weirdness. There was no trick ending or anything like that. Straight up, Chris Jericho snuck into the ring when they opened it up when they thought Seth was injured. He locked them both in, and Chris Jericho helped his best friend.
You're my best friend.
And I need to point that out again. His best friend, not his girl, that would be L'Oreal, but his best friend, Kevin Owens, to retain the title. And the match was big and brutal, and Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, they brought it. And they brought it big. And I'm digging. I didn't think Seth was going to be able to be face Seth. I think they need to stop scripting him so much on his promos, because I haven't felt some of them. It's felt a little heavily scripted, but other than that, I mean, the in-ring work is awesome, is great. I mean, it's just one of those, things which is just like, I mean, do you have anything? I mean, I easily thought that this was the match of the night.
Well, I mean, that's where you and I differ, because I definitely thought the women's match had a great match, and it's just the way it ended was pretty fucking brutal. But I have to say, though, as far as the fact that you're right, chicken shit heels goes, this was a pretty good example of how to get that taken care of. And Miz is kind of like that too, but in this case, he got it pretty thick with Y2J helping him out, and like it's like a Deus Ex Machina situation here almost.
Pretty much. But yeah, Kevin Owens with his best friend Chris Jericho.
Besties with testes.
Exactly. Over Seth Rollins, which brought us to kind of a weird match.
I'm the man with the plan. Yeah, this is weird. This is.
And we're gonna get to another point here in a second.
Can we just address the elephant in the room on this, though?
Well, let me tell them what the match is, and then we can address the elephant in the room, which is, of course, the Brian Kendrick, who I swear to God is suffering from time sickness, versus T.J. Perkins. And I don't remember, were they fighting for the Mega Buster, or were they fighting for the Cruiserweight Championship?
Not sure yet. I want to hear your theory on the time thing, though.
Oh, I try to explain Brian Kendrick to people. And I dig his gimmick, but if you look at him, he's the only dude he's the only dude I know of who can look old and young at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I mean, it's weird. He looks like he's a young dude, but then you get really looking at him, it's like, no, man, he looks actually pretty fucking old. He looks like your grandpa almost.
I don't know about that. He looks like he's in his 40s, though. I'll say that.
I mean, he is.
He reminds me of someone you would find in like a biker gang bar, and he's the one that you picked on, the fat friend of his, and he's like, you know what? Let's get this outside, fucker. And
he looks like a 30-year-old who's done a lot of hard drugs and now looks like a 50-year-old.
Tramp stamp, hold my beer. We're going outside, fucker. Something like that.
So, the story of this match was that Brian needed to win this match.
That's what I want to address right now.
TJ to let him win.
This is what I'm talking about. The Inception call here. Is this Inception? Are we dealing with the dream state? That did he win because he deserved it, or did he win because he laid on his back? The other guy, what's going on here?
He won because TJ's a sucker, and TJ bought that very obviously faked leg injury towards the end of the match. TJ, you're a sucker. But it also brings another thing. The match is good, but I think we can both agree the cruiserweights on Raw have not been what we expected. Has not been, which is why I am so happy that they have gotten their own show on the WWE Network. So I don't know if they're still going to be on Raw. I know they're going to be.
Well, I thought there was a one-off pay-per-view match, not forever.
Oh no, the Cruiserweights get their own show now.
So that's not just a one-time thing. That is actually
my understanding. It's going to be their own show. The Cruiserweight division is going to be likened to NXT. It's going to be. My understanding is that it hasn't done well on Raw, but they really liked the chemistry that the Cruiserweight Classic brought about. So it's going to be their own thing.
That's because the fact that the reason why I don't think it's working well on Raw is they're trying to make it its own universe, like inside of Raw.
Yeah, why did they change the freaking ropes? Why did they change the mat with all the stamps on it? They need to stop that.
Yeah, they need to make that. They need to make it sure that Raw has the CWC, not Raw presents the CWC. I just don't know why. It's just
it's grown stale, but I'm happy that they're going to get their own.
And also the fact that the biggest issue with that show, of course, is the fact that it's been a non-stop match between Brian Kendrick and T.J. Perkins. They are the division right now.
Yeah. They need, and don't get me wrong, I love me some Brian Kendricks. He is the man with the plan.
I
do love T.J. Perkins. I will point out in the past that we did previously on one of our breaks have Brian Kendricks versus Miz. The man with the plan came to play. Go check it out. It's actually a pretty rocking little match.
Yeah, it was pretty badass.
But they need to move past this now, and we need to get to the other guys. Not Rey Mysterio 1 and not Rey Mysterio 2 needs to get a shot. We need to get Cedric Alexander a shot because we know he can play. We need Rich Swann, and we need Swan. And we need Minnie Daivari and Tony Nese and Gulak all to come in because they're all really great.
Fun fact: Rick Swann does do the Dusty Rhodes leg move just for his honor. I thought that was. I like that.
But I mean, it was Brian Kendrick, the man with a plan, over T.J. Perkins, and I'm
trying to figure out did he win because Brian Kendrick won, or did he win because T.J. Perkins allowed him to lose?
Like I said, I think He won because T.J. Perkins is a sucker. T.J., you're a sucker.
Oh!
Which brings us over to the match that made me scream in anger. You know which match I'm talking about. You know
No.
exactly which one I'm
No,
talking
no,
about.
I don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know exactly.
No.
Because this stupidity here, this stupidity that robbed us of a definitive finish to a great series of matches, this bullshit that they forced us, that they buried the club in favor of, and it went nowhere. And I am, of course, talking about The New Day, your WWE Tag Team Champions versus the Ragtag. Paste them together tag team of Sheamus and Cesaro.
They actually work well together, though. That's not the issue.
Do.
It's just that they're falling. They're just falling in between the cracks because this got this New Day train where they want to try to get Demolition's record off the scrapbooks because it was a pretty shitty tag team outside of that. Let's face it. They're trying to get the only thing that's killing me is let them win heroically. Do not keep making them win because of exactly. This is not the Guerrero era.
Cheating to win. And they actually didn't win. They lost via disqualification. And I said it to begin with. If they do not win, if Sheamus and Cesaro do not win these tag team championships at the next pay-per-view, what was the fucking point of it?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm left here to ask. They won by disqualification, despite the fact that very clearly Kofi was tapping out. What was the fucking point of it? What was the point of it? Because not only did you ruin this match, not only is the New Day really starting to overstay their welcome. I mean, the freshness date has come and gone on that one. You know, they're not faces anymore because they're cheating to win. You know, they're not heels because everyone's cheering for them. You've not only tanked their storyline, but you've tanked the Cesaro and Sheamus storyline, which these guys were going nowhere 2 months ago. And they had 7 great matches, and we deserved an ending to it, and we did not get it. This is bullshit, is what this is. And so, I mean, obviously, Sheamus and Cesaro, by disqualification, over the New Day, but the New Day are still the tag team champions. So again, what was the point? You had anything to add to that? Because obviously it annoyed me, and I've already drank my beer.
I just want them to stop the cheap shit. That's all. Like they're not chicken shit wrestlers. They're pretty good wrestlers. So stop finding ways to not give them the win. Make them strong. Make them earn the fact that they beat Demolition's record. Fucking do something serious with that.
Or turn them heel. Or turn them heel.
That, or just once in a while, show the little chicken shittiness behind it, and still have strong pinfall matches. Just do it already. They already have the crowd. Why not give them the W? Because the crowd's gonna love it anyway.
I don't know.
And
it's kind of weird because it's kind of the anti-Shield. They're too afraid to break them up. Whereas the Shield, they were ready to break them up. About 8 months before, they actually broke them up, and the Shield just kept going, nope.
Nope.
But at any rate, that will bring us at last to the main event. Sasha Banks.
Still liked it a lot. I loved. Yeah, it's Sasha Banks versus Sasha, folks. We knew this was going to be the main event.
You said Sasha versus Sasha. Which would be weird.
Oh,
it'd be kind of in some weird video game universe, and
that's what happened. I would totally.
But it was Sasha Banks versus Charlotte.
Oh yeah, so good. Let me just say something right now.
Okay.
The beginning of that thing, they made it all. A lot of my wife, I know for a fact, Lady Sooka. If you don't know, Lady Sooka, my wife, and my best friend, Austin, and his girlfriend were watching this, and we were like, okay, what's going on? Because, as you know, Charlotte and Sasha decided like Charlotte decided to like sneak out before the whole Hell in a Cell went down because they had such a beautiful intro that happened, and of course Charlotte took advantage of this and powerbombed the crap out of Sasha into the tables, making it look like they fucked up bad. Like the throw was like, oh, that was a botch. Shit, that's a botch. Charlotte looks like she's hurt. Shit. What's going on? Shit. Fuck. All that kind of stuff, right? And then they get her on the stretcher, and she gets out of the stretcher and wails the guy that's taking her out of the stretcher like a serious punch to the face. And I thought it was just a beautiful homage to Mick Foley and how he was pretty much being escorted out that way after he fell off the top of the cell from the first Hell in a Cell match. And it was just, I mean, not the first. It was like second or third in. I don't know. Either way. Yeah, third one in. And he's like, I gotta fight! And gets off, and he's fighting back into the ranch. And I thought that was just great homage to Mick Foley, given that one scenario. I just thought
it went a bit long.
I think that was the whole point. I think they wanted people so convinced that this was not a scam. Because a lot of people were still like, I know Lady was definitely going, what is happening?
I didn't think it was a scam. I thought it was. I thought she was either legitimately hurt or they were just drawing it on too long.
Yeah, no. You thought I have the messages to prove it, sir. You were all like, "This is bullshit. This is bullshit. We're not ending this pay-per-view like this. This is bullshit."
Well, no. I mean, if she had been legitimately hurt, that's one thing. But the fact of the matter is that if she had been legitimately hurt like that, they would have cut long before there, which is why I was starting not to buy it, because it was starting to go way too long.
I don't know.
They don't like showing that kind of stuff because they don't get in trouble, but they get criticized for it for legitimate like injuries and stuff like that. Regardless of the fact, once the match actually got started, it was a pretty good match. And the story of the match was, once again, Sasha has a bad back. And for having a bad back, she fought back until her back finally gave out. And, well,
the original plan didn't happen. That was the funny part. And that's what made it look like it was brutal as fuck. Because if what you don't know, folks, is that how this match was supposed to end was Charlotte was supposed to put Sasha through a table and pretty much take her out completely and win the victory. But turns out Sasha is too light for a standard wooden table because
she bounced off of it.
She really bounced off of it.
She nearly bounced off of it and over the top rope and onto the outside.
But I felt like it was the Kurt Angle Shane McMahon moment when Shane got thrown into the wrong pane of glass. And he didn't go through it the first time?
It wasn't the wrong pane of glass. They had put the wrong glass in there. That's what had happened.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and then because they go in to try it again, and she still didn't break through it.
She just kind of slid off of it, and then Charlotte went, F this, and just gave him the natural selection.
Yeah. Like a fucking Rubbermaid. It just bounced right off of it. Oh, God. It looked like she was ragdolled.
It was a thing. And so, that brings us to an end to the pay-per-view proper. Letter grade. Yes? No?
I have to say this, to me, this is a really good B+, A- situation. So I'm going to go in the middle and say A. It was a good A. It was a solid A. There was no canceled matches, which is great. Even the first Hell in a Cell match, even though it was predictable, it still brought the crowd together. There wasn't that many matches that pissed people off, except for you with your hatred for the New Day. But
they need to knock that shit off.
I get it, but they still had a great Hell in a Cell matches. I felt Sasha's thing was a great homage to Mankind. I thought that there was some really good overall arcs that were going on here, and it leads into a really good, solid Survivor Series setup. So I'm still giving this an A.
I am going to give it a C+.
Ooh. totally under the spectrum today.
Well, here's why. I'm going to give it a C+. Too much predictable shit. At no time did I not think that Roman was going to win. You know? Bayley, feel good, but she's obviously the superior wrestler to Dana. The club had to have won, and let's face it, it's become predictable that Enzo and Cass are the realest jobbers in the room. I didn't think they were going to... I could have gone either way. KO and Seth were my match of the night, and it was a good match. But once Jericho got in there, even though they had Seth beat the both of them at the same time on Raw in the week previous, there was no way he was getting out of there. And plus, the money is with keeping the title on KO currently. Mm-hmm. Bryan had to win it, otherwise he was dead in the water, and they had to have a title change at some point. And Sheamus and Cesaro, that whole match pissed me off for stated reasons. And if they had just cut down on the whole pre-match thing with Charlotte and Sasha, because that lasted a while.
Yeah.
That lasted a while. If they had
but they also had to milk that whole match to begin with. It was just a short. They gave them enough time, so.
I mean, they gave them enough time, but I mean, it was just one of those. If they had shortened that up, then I probably would have bumped it up to a B. But
I don't know. I think you should still raise it to a B. The fact that they actually used real weapons, real conventional usage throughout the whole match, which is very rare for women. You know, it was a big deal when Nia Jax put Alicia Fox through the barricade. Yeah. This should be just as embracive as far as change for women go.
But even with them and the Kevin Owens match, the rest of the pay-per-view was lackluster.
Mm.
And that's what brings it down to a C. I'll give it this much: they finished stronger than No Mercy.
They had you gave No Mercy a pass above grade, and they had 2 lost matches and and an injured match takeout. But these guys did all the work, had a solid women's match, and you give it a C+.
Yep. Because
brutal you are, sir.
Because they pissed me off and they overused the cell gimmick.
Savage.
I actually, if they had kicked the cell from Roman and Rusev, I probably would have given it a higher grade. Well, I was sick of the cell by the end of the night.
Let's quid pro quo here, sir. If SmackDown didn't do No Mercy but instead did Elimination Chamber, would your letter grade changed? Because your trigger word was gimmick pay-per-view.
It depends on how many Elimination Chambers they put in the match.
3 Elimination Chambers, just like 3 in Hell.
Oh, God, I would kill myself. I would not want to watch that pay-per-view with 3 Elimination Chambers.
I don't know. I would enjoy it.
I honestly
think that
Elimination Chambers are so long, though. They're so long. I can't...
Yeah, because they're countdowns, yeah.
Like, two Elimination Chambers were pushing it. Just because of the style of match they are. If they did 3, that would have to be the entire pay-per-view right there.
Truth.
But with that said, now comes the really big question. Regardless of letter grades or whatever, who won and who lost? Who did it better as a whole? Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I think you went last time, so you should go first.
My vote this time is for No Mercy. I think No Mercy did it better this time. And this is kind of a trend, at least to my eye. And I've discussed this with a few other people, and they seem to, for the most part, agree with me. Raw has the better TV, hands down. They really do. They have the better TV shows. They have the better TV angles, but their pay-per-views feel clunky, overcrowded, and gimmicky. SmackDown, on the other hand, not as exciting TV. Until a couple of weeks ago with the whole James Ellsworth thing. But even then, that's not enough to carry it, because then you get stupidity like Randy Orton joining the Wyatts. Ooh, because he has voices in his head. But then they have these kick-ass pay-per-views, which honestly, I was not sold on their first pay-per-view. Neither of us were. And going into this pay-per-view, I'm like, okay, well, it looks like we've got a little bit more, but they were really kind of riding on 2 matches on that pay-per-view. And I think they did more with less. I cared a lot more about their secondary matches than I did Raw's matches. And that's why I think No Mercy did it better. They did the more efficient use of their time, and I walked away happier at the end. What about you? What do you think?
Well, last time we were at this precipice, you and I saw eye to eye that we thought Backlash was the better proper
Mm-hmm.
than Clash Champions.
I have a feeling that you're going to break ranks this time.
I am going to break rank, and I think that Rage in the Cage did much better, and I have pretty much a good reason why I'm believing that at this point. And that is that when it comes to pay-per-views, I will have to say this, and I definitely agree with you here. As far as pay-per-view strength goes, SmackDown has definitely been bringing that game into fruition. But that also does lackluster their show value. So I don't know if it's because of the fact that we're getting a lack of show value, that the pay-per-views are enriched because we're the fact that we're not getting a good luster in their show series episodes, that when we get a pay-per-view it feels really good to watch, or the fact that Raw is still hitting it strong on their Raw shows, and we're watching a pay-per-view that kind of reminds me of watching an episode of Raw. So they kind of status quo each other because of that setup. But as far as pay-per-views go altogether, I have to factor in some serious liabilities here. First of all, we just had the biggest divisionary change for the women's title one pay-per-view before that. No defenses happened. Barely anything was shown up for Becky Lynch, and it turns out it's because she was injured. Now, they prioritized the injury for only 30 days. And okay, that's fine. I guess we'll just have to wait it out. But how would we know if this was going to go any longer? And this is a big changing pay-per-view for them. They should have done it right, and they should have done with what they did with Finn Balor, and that is receive the title and just go on. And when Becky comes back, she can get it back because it's not that hard. She deserves it, especially if she came back in Glasgow, Ireland, and earned it then. That would have been strong, real strong for her. And you could have had a whole month of like, for example, in this case, Alexa Bliss showing off of how better she could be against Becky because she won the belt at No Mercy. So that liability is strong against why I thought they didn't win this pay-per-view proper.
Mm-hmm.
Another big one is they had such a weaker finish than Raw did. SmackDown's match with Randy Orton versus Bray, comparing it to Sasha and Charlotte, is very unfair because one was not iconic and the other one was just a dab against something that was supposed to have been finished off in Backlash, but because of reasons unforetold, because Randy couldn't do it, they
never
pushed it back.
clear him.
Yeah,
and they realized
stupid
after
reasons.
the fact they couldn't.
This further strengthens my liability to point in this case against this. So leaning forward now, you look at this. You compare match to match. SmackDown definitely had some strong character development with especially like Ziggler versus The Miz. They did a fantastic approach. They showed the desperation that Ziggler needed to win. They showed the high pop that they could have gotten for him winning. So that, I give him applause. But that does not overcast a strong matches that going on, a strong KO match, a strong U.S. title defense match, even though we don't like Rusev at all and we knew how that was going to happen. That they had a strong club destroying the fuck out of Enzo and Cass, proving that they were going to wreck, and it even proves better because Survivor Series shows that they're the give no fucks attitude characters. They had a great pre-show match. The CWCs are fantastics, and they are, since they got their own show, they even proves that they have the good drive. They had a better women's non-title match with Bayley and Dana. They did. There was no way Carmella did it better with Nikki Bella. I'm sorry, it just did. There's no way because Bayley is strong, Papas go high, and that's what's great about them. Brian Kendrick and T.J. Perkins, no matter how the way it ended, it still was a good good cruiserweight match. If you compare that to the tag team titles that happened, that's the only difference. The tag team titles were much stronger on SmackDown's pay-per-view than it was on Raw. But the difference is still liability here. And Raw had full liability on getting their deliverance. Down to every match they had, everybody was healthy and ready to go. Everything was impactful. I still enjoyed it more than anything. And they didn't make it... to me, it didn't feel like it was much of a gimmick than it was when you say Hell in a Cell. Even though there's 3 Hell in a Cell matches, I didn't feel that it had to be so nuanced that there was a cell between me and watching the match. The only time I felt it was a real Hell in a Cell match, realistically, was when it was Sasha and Charlotte. Because the first one, all right, cool. We're fighting inside a cage. The other one with KO, that was good. That was Hell in a Cell-ish, but the real hit was the Sasha versus Charlotte match.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt that there was so much impact on that solid ending to make me go for Hell in a Cell this time. So Hell in a Cell is my bank when it comes to who won the proper.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. I will say this much in my defense. You know, I agree with you for the most part, but for me, especially like you said, the first one, the second one, ish, the third one, definitely Hell in a Cell. If they're not going to go full out with Hell in a Cell, it's kind of like when we had the same gripes against Rusev versus Cena way back when they did that bull rope match.
Yeah.
Or they did that Russian chain match, and then it was just like, it's just a match and they got a chain. And they didn't really do anything with it. You know, you can take away from the match with the gimmick by not using the gimmick to its full potential. Yeah. Do we want to real fast go over Survivor Series and give any quick dualies?
Well, I have to say, folks, that's the next big thing. We're going to get a little bit of a break, hopefully a little shorter situation for everybody next time, folks, because it's only going to be Survivor Series this month.
And
nothing going.
NXT.
Well, that hopefully that will just.
I actually hope they keep that trend up because
Yeah.
that's going to make this manageable for us. Because I've been really worried about being able to do NXT.
Yeah,
I really thought that NXT was going to be the
even worse is what happens if they want the Cruiserweights to have their own pay-per-view. Like, oh my God, no.
Well, actually, we're going to get into that in a second because we're just going to do a quick back and forth. All of the announced matches for Survivor Series, which is not this weekend, it is the next weekend. Hopefully, we will get a podcast to you right after that. But, of course, the headline match is Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way in hell that Goldberg's going to come back from one match and they're going to give him a win against their monster Brock Lesnar.
Nope, that's a goodbye Brock. It's a goodbye Goldberg situation.
Exactly. I mean, best case scenario, you're looking at double disqualification.
I mean, most of the trend for the 2K guys is they come back to pretty much put themselves on their back. So
Right. I mean, and that's pretty much it. And I mean, Brock can go away after that because I'm really kind of getting sick of him. I really am. I mean, like, what's the fucking point of him anymore? Like, he comes in and he beats some shit up, and nobody beats him ever. I mean, now I know
why they gave him Paul Heyman because he has no control. He'll start cursing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And you know, I know we're building to a Shane McMahon Brock match, or they're hinting at.
Please no.
Yeah. Please no. There's no point to that.
Yeah.
And then we have they're having 3 traditional 5-on-5 elimination matches. You have the men's team, which Team Raw is going to consist of KO, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Chris Jericho, L'Oreal's favorite wrestler, the Architect Seth Rollins, and Bone Straw Hat. Bane Strahan. Beef Stroganoff.
The Raw Mountain.
Yeah. And on the SmackDown side, well, originally it was going to be the internet's favorite Lego man, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Randy Orton Jr. We were going to have the Ortons, Senior and Junior. But apparently Boring Corbin got injured. He ran into the editor bug. He got severe plot sickness.
Yep.
incurable plot disease, and he's going to be out. And taking his place is Shane McMahon
For
for
reasons.
reasons.
Pretty much reasons. Because,
Um,
because bad enough we don't want to give the leg up on some strong SmackDown wrestlers that they need to put into the small in the strong category. Fuck that. Screw that.
I'm going to say Team SmackDown.
We're actually saying the whole W, or are we talking about just between those 5 guys? 5 on 5.
I mean, the whole W just as a whole. You don't really need to get too much into it, but and this doesn't even need to be a prediction. This is just who you want. I think Team SmackDown to get
I'm looped out, but John Cena's on that team, right?
No.
What?
John Cena is a part-timer now. He has become what he hates.
Is he back at the Fortress of Solitude again, soaking in all the energies to get back into the ring?
He's doing his reality show.
The Bella thing?
No, the other one. The one
thought
on
that was
CBS. The Test.
Oh, the test. Yo, off topic. Do you know Stone Cold has one?
Yeah, Broken Skull Challenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch reality TV show, but I know he has it.
I would just watch it to him.
I would like Team SmackDown to win, just because they have to make SmackDown look like a credible threat. And in the past, they have made Raw look good, and they had Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of Randy Orton last
I'm okay
time.
with that as long as they don't make Shane the deciding winner.
No, Shane needs to get Shane needs to double count out with Brain Strowman.
And I think Bray Wyatt should be the one to end that.
I do too, because I mean, Bray has got the advantage. I think this is what's going to happen, though. I think SmackDown is going to lose because that's when Randy is going to turn on Bray.
I don't know about that, but we'll find out.
There is, of course, the women's match, which Team Raw consists of Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, Nia Jax, and for some reason Alicia Fox.
Yes.
Because Paige is probably never coming back.
Nope. And I really thought that was going to be either her or Emelina when they made that whole Raw announcement thing.
I would like it to be Emelina. I kind of expected it to be Dana. I don't understand why Alicia Fox is there. I'm kind of over the concept of Alicia Fox. And versus the SmackDown, and I'm looking at the graphic right now. And guess who's front and center? Mrs. John Cena, Nikki Bella. The person who should be front and center, the SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Radioactive Naomi.
Yes.
Raw.
Oh yeah, 100%. You can't have Sasha Banks on this team and not wreck.
Like, you have the four horsewomen. I would love just Becky to say F it, and like the 4 of them just go into business for themselves and wreck everyone else and decide they're the winners.
Yep.
But Raw.
They have to, because unfortunately, folks, I firmly believe that the forecast of Survivor Series' best of 3 is definitely going to lean into the SmackDown route, because I think the tag team is also going to go to SmackDown once we explain who's on the graphic altogether. But I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I mean, the SmackDown 10 on 10 now, are they going to be doing individual eliminations, or are they going to be doing team eliminations?
Like if one guy gets pinned, the other guy goes too?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Well, that's the way they usually do it, but, I mean, there's not a whole lot of matches here, so they're going to be strapped for time. There's like 5 actual announced matches. And Team Raw is, of course, the tag team champions, the New Day, the realest jobbers in the room, Endzone, Cass, the Club, Cesaro, and Sheamus, and the Shining Stars. And they are going to be facing off against Rhino and Heath Slater, the Hype Bros, American Alpha, the Usos, and Breezango.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still think Team SmackDown's going to win this, only because the fact that if they do, it brings my theory to fruition. However, my thing on this is that you got the mega jobber on the side of Raw, which is Endzone Cass. But you also have the mega strength, which is the Club. But I really think that American Alpha is going to win it out for them.
I hope so. And then we get to the 2 very interesting matches. And these are kind of like the shake-up matches. You have first Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn. If Obviously, if Sammy wins, the Intercontinental Championship goes to Raw, which I don't see happening, not in a million years.
Unless, which my friend has a theory,
unless the Miz causes it to him,
or Sami Zayn, once he wins the Intercontinental title, gives the finger to Stephanie and says, "I'm going to SmackDown."
I don't think so. I think they're building towards WrestleMania KO versus Sammy.
That's a stretch.
KO versus Sammy is easily the best match Raw has had.
Yeah, but I still think that's a stretch.
I don't think so
no build. Guy's been in the mid card lineup for a while. Come on, no.
But then that also brings us to the other.
If they drop Jericho, I mean, maybe.
Well, Jericho's going to be gone by WrestleMania, I think.
Yeah.
Which that also brings us, and this I just found out looking at this. There's apparently a Cruiserweight Championship on Survivor Series. It is going to be the Brian Kendricks, still probably suffering from time sickness, versus the original, not Rey Mysterio, Kalisto.
Yeah.
If Kalisto wins, SmackDown Live gets the entire Cruiserweight division.
Including the belt.
Yeah, I mean, like, all the Cruiserweights go over there.
Yep.
That might be an interesting angle to work going into their TV show. Because SmackDown Live doesn't have that third hour.
Pretty much.
And I've openly wondered why Kalisto was not in the Cruiserweight division. I think we all have. But, I mean, really, that's interesting. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say they're going to shake some stuff up and they're going to give it to Kalisto.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. I mean, we really need to know.
I mean, the safe thing is for...
Because it sounds like that either they're going to keep the status quo, belts stay where they belong, or someone's taking more belts up.
Which I would venture if any belt is expendable, it's going to be that Cruiserweight belt. Because you need...
having a U.S. title and an Intercontinental title on the same side.
You need that secondary title on each show.
Yeah, you do. Especially since there's plenty of non-CWC guys on Raw that are clearly not even participating in the Cruiserweight matches. So
right, people like Neville.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
he still alive? I don't even know.
Yeah, he shows up every now and again, as I understand it. But at any rate, that will bring us to the end of the show. As we said, next time it's going to be Survivor Series.
Well, hold on. One thing I want to point out before we do anything further.
Right.
Do you agree or disagree that there's actually going to be a good match between Goldberg and Brock?
No.
Yeah. Why though? I want to know your why, because I have my why.
Because Goldberg is near his 50s, if not already in it, and has not been in a ring in 20 years.
He's been training for 7 months. I'm not quite entirely sure if I'm behind reason that. I have another theory that makes 100% more sense.
I mean, they kind of have to, considering what their last match was like.
The reason why this match is going to suck is the same reason why his match against Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania is going to suck. He does not work with others.
No.
Not even like to talk about shit. He literally is like Jimmy the King in Ready to Rumble. I'm just gonna throw a couple of things here, shoot you up top, and I'm gonna win. All right, we're good. Like, I feel like that's what he tells them. I'm gonna just suplex you around, and you're gonna try doing a move, and that's cool, and I'm just gonna win.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be a good match. I think it's gonna be. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
He's not gonna give him good spots. He's the only time he's going to give him a single spot is possibly in the corner when he's waiting for a spear on Brock Lesnar. That's probably the only spot that Brock Lesnar will give him, because this man needs spots and they're not going to give it to him. I know it. I know he won't, because he's not even trying. I bet you he's sitting in his farm in Canada or wherever the fuck he goes to. I think it's in Canada now.
Yeah.
With his wife and his 700 kids, I guess. I don't know how it goes down with that. All the adopted children Sable has, and he's just sitting there going, I'm just going to chop wood because this is my life and I like to live this kind of life. I like to milk cows and do whatever the hell I want. And Goldberg's like trying to call him, like, listen, we need to make a good match. What do you want to do? Nope, I'm gonna go chop wood now. See you later. Like, but we got to spot things. I got cows to cuddle. Yep. What? Goodbye.
Yeah, we'll see.
Fuck everything.
We can only hope it's going to turn out well.
Me too. I
But
really
at any
do.
rate,
Well, here's a big question. I know I keep on starring you, but that we never raise the big question. And that is, what happens if Team SmackDown wins or if Team Raw wins? Who do you think they're gonna take over? Because that's another thing. It's not just titles, but also people are being moved over if one side wins completely, the whole set, the best of three.
who's moving over?
If Team Raw wins, or if whoever wins, the other side gets to pick 3 wrestlers, and tag team counts as one, and they get drafted over to the other team.
Oh, wow.
Are you telling me I know something you didn't know?
I must have missed that. Yeah. Christ. Well, if SmackDown wins, then you could grab up Cesaro, Sasha, and
They won't, though. I know they'll take
Cesaro's.
Endzone. I think Endzone Cast they could take.
And Endzone Cast. Endzone Cast need a fresh start.
Yeah,
Or,
not only that, but they could also team up with Carmella again.
Or you take the club and
Make
they can be AJ's backup again.
Or they could take Eric. Isn't Eric on Raw?
Rowan?
And strengthen the Wyatts? Yeah.
He's getting surgery.
Oh, again?
He's on SmackDown. But he's getting surgery. That's why he disappeared all of a sudden.
My theory is Endzone Cast is, because that counts as one, Bailey and Seth Rollins.
Well, we'll certainly find out. I mean, SmackDown really can't afford to lose anyone right now.
Yeah, no, they can't. That's why if they add people, it'll be even sweeter.
Which does remind me, we do have one question here, which we'll get to really fast, and then we really have to wrap it up. And of course, our question is from our favorite person, L'Oreal. She asks, "Who exactly is on the list?" You are. 20 times. The list is just L'Oreal loves the J, L'Oreal loves the J, L'Oreal loves the J, L'Oreal loves the J.
Yeah.
Over and over again for pages and pages.
Plot twist: the list is actually his fan fiction.
You don't want to see how he shipped you and him. It's really. At any rate, we're ending it now. It's over. We're not going any more into that. If you would like to hit me up, I am of course on the Twitter at Faded Saint. You can also ask me a question via the Tumblr. I am commuzite.tumblr.com. We would, of course, again, like to thank bensound.com for our opening theme, Actionable. We'd like to thank Meatchet for our closing theme, Picnic at the Reactor. And we will see you for Survivor Series and NXT in a couple of weeks.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada. And with that said,
who else is scared about a Montreal Screwjob happening?
God, I hope not. They need to just knock that shit off. No more Montreal Screwjobs. It's over. It's done with. Stop it. They tried to do a Montreal Screwjob like a couple months ago at SummerSlam with Natty and Nikki or Charlotte or someone. I don't care.
Yes.
Anyway, stop with the Montreal Screwjobs. Stop it. Anyway. Yeah, with that said, I'm your boy, Common the Faded Saint. That's my boy, Kaine Super What Snooker, saying we'll see you on the next podcast.
Later, folks.